Oh boy, it's full
Oh
of
my
grass.
gosh! Arizona was awesome, but the Pacific Northwest is one of those places in the US I haven't explored yet, so I'm so excited to get to Portland. For this trip, we're starting in Portland. Then it's off to Oswald West State Park on the coast before heading down to Tillamook Bay. And finally, a cinematic close in the Willamette Valley. This is a pretty airport. All right, it's our first day in Oregon, so today we're checking out Portland. We're looking for views, roses, books, and coffee. High above the city, Pittock Mansion offers panoramic views and a glimpse into Portland's early 20th century charm. On a clear day, you can see Mount Hood. It's a little hazy right now, but that's an amazing view. Zooming in for a closer look, Portland earned the name the City of Roses in the late 1800s. With over 10,000 roses in bloom, the International Rose Test Garden began in 1917 as a testing ground for hybrid roses.
So in 1905, Portland hosted the Lewis and Clark Expo. We really wanted to affirm our stance as City of Roses. So we decided we're going to line the parade route with over 10,000 roses with this rose, Madame Caroline Testu.
I was going through and just smelling some random roses. They smell so different. I had no idea, because just what's in my mom's garden is how they smell. So these smelled almost citrusy, where the ones down there smelled a bit sweeter.
It's very complex in the sense that a rose first off have to be predisposed to genetics, but then when it is, other things can affect it, like this nice sunny day.
So it might smell differently on a cloudy day.
Exactly. Wow. We always have a joke, smell this one between 1 and 3 on a Tuesday and it'll smell good.
Whoa. And it smells completely different from the orange ones over there.
I think it smells like Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, it does. Up next, we head into the heart of downtown to explore a city within a city. Covering an entire block, Powell's City of Books is the world's largest independent bookstore.
So Powell's was opened in 1971. It was opened by Walter and Michael Powell. And their big innovation was putting used books next to new books on the shelf. And so we actually have a book buying counter where we buy used books back from people and then they make it onto the shelves.
Awesome.
So this is the gold room. This is one of our most popular rooms in the store. We have sci-fi, we have graphic novels, and of course we have romance.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite romance author?
Abby Jimenez, of course.
Of course.
She's from Minnesota.
She's amazing.
So impressed with how many people are here on just a random Tuesday morning.
Oh, I know. Powell's gets 2.5 million visitors a year, and we get more visitors here than the next top 3 destinations in the city of Portland combined.
That's
so
amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Here in the Pearl Room, we have the rare book room. It's 1,000 square feet of first editions, signed editions, and rare books that are all for sale. This is not a museum. We recently had a first edition of Fantasia signed by Walt Disney. And it was in the display and it was gone in a couple of weeks.
So what's the rarest or coolest book you have in here?
One of the coolest that we have is a first edition of the Lewis and Clark journals. It is for sale. You can get it for just $350,000 if you'd like.
Just a drop in the bucket.
No problem. But it is really interesting because it does highlight so much of the unique aspects of Portland and Oregon and our area. They talk about hiking down the gorge when they came here. There was a huge flood that came from Montana that came down the gorge. And it's one of the reasons why we have such amazing wine country, because all of that topsoil ended up in the Willamette Valley. And that's why we have such amazing wines and grapes and other fertile soil around here.
I could easily spend the whole day here, losing myself to the endless pages, but it's time to venture on. Long before craft coffee swept the nation, Portland was perfecting it. So I headed to Push-Pull for a coffee tasting to experience the romance for myself.
Have you cupped coffee before?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. So cupping coffee is something that we do, but that every roaster anywhere in the world is gonna do. And there's 2 reasons for it. One is to check your quality control of your roast. And the other is just, it's a great way to taste a lot of coffees without having to just brew a whole pot. So what I've done is I've put 14 grams of coarsely ground coffee in here, filled it up with hot water, and it's sat for about 4 minutes.
Okay.
So we are going to break the crust and get the aroma off the top first. So push your spoon across the surface of the coffee. Don't be afraid to get in there.
Like, scoop or pull, it doesn't
Just
matter.
like
push, pull.
away. Yeah, right, exactly. So just go away, and then get in, and you're just smell it. So you're releasing the oils, you're getting the aromatics, right?
Yep. Okay.
You've got it, you've got it.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Woo!
Okay,
I
we
don't
two
have
more.
any idea what that's the most amazing strange coffee I've ever tasted.
Not only did I get the most unique coffee tasting experience of my life, but I also discovered the amazing Portland musician Hannah Glavor performing an afternoon pop-up show. Next stop, Portland's food pods. Vibrant clusters of carts bringing the world's flavors together in one place.
A lot of food carts have opened and become really popular businesses and moved to brick and mortars even.
Yeah.
So it's a really nice, diverse part of the food scene here. And there's a lot all over town, really great ones. I recommend checking them all out if you can.
While some pods like Cartopia are more established, there's also new twists like Wonderlove, with its music venue and crazy views of downtown. It's a fitting way to wrap up the Portland portion of this trip. A short drive to the coast, we enter what seems like another world.
Hi, Amber. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Welcome to Oswald West State Park.
The drive up here was absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited.
We get almost 100 inches of rain in Oregon every year. That's why it's so green and lush all the time.
Yeah, and covered in moss because
Yes.
the sun doesn't get down through the trees.
Yeah,
and
exactly. The furry trees are so pretty.
When you take people on a tour, what are you looking at?
We're mostly exploring the tide pools and the kind of the intertidal zone, so the space between the highest and the lowest tides. Going out at low tide is kind of a chance to explore this area that is normally underwater, but you can do it with barely getting your feet wet, so it's kind of a
Fabulous.
chance to scuba dive on land.
It really looks like fairies living there.
They do. And here we are.
Oh my gosh, it's stunning.
Yeah, the Oregon coast is really well known for having really abundant tide pools. We have a really lush forest on land, but our oceans are also these cold, really nutrient-dense waters. Because the water is really cold, what happens is we have all these species that have really slow metabolisms, so they don't use up all the nutrients really fast.
Okay.
In areas like the tropics where the water is really warm, they're actually pretty nutrient poor. Where here, there's a ton of excess nutrients and it fuels all of these
That's
species. So we have a
fascinating.
lot
I
of
never-
fish that live like over 100 years old.
I never would have known that. That's
swimming out
amazing.
there.
So that probably just means Minnesotans are going to live longer because we don't use our metabolisms as much because it's cold there all the time.
You'll start to see lots of wildlife on the rocks. There's a couple different species of anemones. There's these little ones, and they can multiply by just splitting themselves in half, so they can take up whole rocks. And then there's the giant green ones, and they do have algae in them that go through photosynthesis. So they're getting sugar from the algae, but they can also eat fish and crabs and anything that swims into them. There is a purple starfish right under there. If you can see it. And the mussel bed, the reason it stops so abruptly is because the sea stars are actually major predators of the mussels. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, sea stars are considered a keystone species in this ecosystem because they're chomping away at the mussel bed and it opens up all this space down below to allow anemones and all these other species to inhabit. There's a lot of different seaweed diversity on the Oregon coast. There's actually more kelp diversity in the Pacific Northwest than anywhere else on the planet. And the one seaweed that people tend to know is nori, because it's what you roll sushi in. And then there's sea lettuce, which is the lighter green. There's sea spaghetti. We have hundreds of different species of seaweed, the anemone. Yeah, they do move if you poke them lightly.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
And they're really all just closed up while the tide's out to keep their water in. But when you see them in the water, they're fully opened and have their tentacles exposed. Okay, so this is a little hermit crab, and he's scared right now, but he might come out. There we go.
Look at him.
So it's a little crab that steals a shell from a snail. Yeah, they don't really have pinchy claws. They just tickle a little bit. You have to give them a little treadmill because they like to run in all directions.
That's amazing. She's a marine biologist, but I'm an amateur volcanologist because I'm obsessed with volcanoes. So you can see all this lava just came straight down to the ocean and started cooling, and you see all the different mineral layers.
Named after a governor who fought to protect Oregon's beaches, this park is a testament to public access and natural preservation. Towering cliffs, crashing waves, and old-growth forests remind us why this coast is a national treasure.
The drive is absolutely stunning. Around every corner, the topography completely changes. I'll pull into every single overlook, especially if I'm driving, otherwise I don't get to look.
Down the coast, we arrive in the town of Garibaldi, seated at the top of Tillamook Bay.
Welcome to Oregon Coast Scenic Railroad. My name is Trevor. We're really excited to have you here. We run heritage train rides up and down the Oregon coast here. We're really fortunate here that we have beautiful scenery along the coast. We run most of our trips behind a historic steam locomotive that is turning 100 years old this year. And we offer all sorts of different classes of service, from indoor cars to outdoor cars to even cab rides in the locomotive. And what's really neat about our daily runs is you can actually take the train from one end of the railroad, either Garibaldi or Rockaway Beach, get to the other end and either have a short layover or spend the entire day there if you want to go out to eat, you know, go to the beach.
I love towns like this because my kryptonite is like most of those gift shops down there. Pair that with a bunch of antiquing, great afternoon.
To our surprise, you could actually book an experience riding in the train engine with the engineer and the fireman.
I started working at a tourist railroad about 10 years ago down in California. Okay. And then I moved up here, and then I started firing about 2 years ago.
And is it something you had to study?
Yeah, you train at the job, I guess. Okay. It's not really something that they have schools for anymore.
Yeah. And you just really love trains, so
yeah.
that's awesome.
And of course, they even let me blow the horn. It was honestly a bucket list item I didn't even know was on my bucket list. Tillamook Bay has fed coastal communities for centuries. Today, we get hands-on with the age-old traditions of crabbing and clamming.
Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing? Big
Good.
Dave.
Hi, Big Dave. I'm Amber.
Nice to meet you, Amber. Well, we have a lot of stuff to offer here in Tillamook, so we're gonna try to get a few of them off the list today.
So I grew up fishing in Minnesota, but crabbing is new to me.
Yeah, you got these little doors on here, and the crab will lift that up. You'll go in.
I see it now.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then they get stuck in there. You can set it up on the rail here. Okay. Give it a good check. There we go. We're out. We're out. Well, we'll let those soak for a little bit. Now we'll go over to the beach. Get to clamming.
All right, they're also going to video my grace.
All right, land ho. Different clams will show different divots. 2 holes. There's gonna be like a big hole and a little hole, and they'll be real close together. That could be one. Nope. Okay, we're Easter egging. There'll be, oh, you see that? One just squirted.
Oh, here's something.
Right there. Okay, but it's a dead one.
It's a dead one, yep. This looks like...
There you go. Twin hole, yep. Give it a dig.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, it's a big one too. Sweet. There you go, guys. There you go. Clam chowder. That's one for sure.
Oh, yep.
Oh, another big one. There you go. That's a nice one too. Heck yeah.
Oh, look at how perfect it is.
Yeah, that's a perfect one. Heck yeah. Okay, well, I think we got enough for a clam dinner.
All right.
So maybe we'll go get our crabs now.
Okay.
So now that you've been looking for them, you can't not look at the ground though.
Yeah.
Pull it up, here's our pod. Oh boy, it's full of crabs. It's full of them, guys. Oh Lord. Oh boy, let's see. Holy cow. Yeah, these guys gotta go back. We got one, and some we just know are too small.
Yep.
Okay, and you can see This is also a female.
Okay.
You can see her birth right there. It's real wide. Okay, there's a male. That one's close. So this is how we do this. You can see it's a male. It's got the skinny tail there.
Yep.
And you have to hook this on the inside of that, okay? So you can see we're just barely short. So not quite legal. We're putting him back. Let's go to the next one. It's a big one. Oh my God, there's a keeper already. Look at that big, look at the huge one. Oh my God, there's a huge one in there. Look at that guy. Guy's trying to get me. Okay, now he's
mad.
So we put him there, look at that.
Yep.
Off the
got it.
charts, guys.
It's got the power glove though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to kiss it?
No.
Yeah, look at this grunt. Trapped in it. Ooh, boy. As these crabs go, there's meat in the bodies, and then obviously the legs have most of the meat.
Yep.
Cheers.
Cheers. This is my breakfast. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Oh, I think we got enough that everyone's gonna have to try this.
Dave, thanks so much for taking us out.
I'm glad I got to show you some of the things we have here. You know, there's a lot of different opportunities out on the ocean on big boats. You can go on the rivers and drift boats. A lot of this stuff you can just do on your own too.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of cool experiences you can have out here on the West Coast.
A few minutes south of Garibaldi is the town of Tillamook. We see Tillamook cheese and ice cream in our stores in Minnesota, so I was pretty excited to check out the creamery.
We're excited to have you here at Tillamook. What we're going to be doing is just giving you a quick rundown of some of the things to see and do while you're here at our visitor center.
Fabulous.
This is 50,000 pounds of milk being pumped into each one of these batching tanks here. Our recipe, simple to this day, we still utilize just 4 ingredients. This is what we call our mother loaves. It's coming out here, it's being pressed down, taking those loose curds, forming them into nice solid blocks.
All right, so when I'm out shopping, I'm looking for a good, sharp cheddar, and I know that's happening here.
Yes, absolutely. So when we're talking cheddars, Tillamook is making white cheddars and yellow cheddars, and we actually have over 40 million pounds of cheese aging in our cold storage facility right now, getting sharper and sharper by the day.
Yeah, that is what I look for.
Yes.
We went to the World Cheese Awards last year in Portugal, Spain, against 4,700 entries from 42 different countries. This was the best cheddar cheese in the world. It was made in 2014. It is a gem. You get notes of brioche, toasted hazelnuts. The crystals are really like an active part of the eating experience too.
It practically melts in your mouth, but it's also crunchy.
When you get to like year 9,
Yeah.
year 10, that cheese like takes on its own like characteristic.
Wow.
I never knew cheddar could be crunchy and creamy at the same time.
One of the things that people can sign up for here at Tillamook is our ice cream experience. They also get the chance to find out if they are what's called a super taster or not, going through some of the sensory tests that our lab workers will have to go to.
I think it's just paper.
Okay, so we're marking just paper on number 1, no flavor.
Yeah. Okay, number 2. Oh, yeah. There it is. Yeah, it is. There it is.
Took a second.
Okay.
Yeah, on to number 3.
Oh, this is good. This is like right away.
Wow, well, you nailed it. You are, in fact, a dominant super taster. Have you tried our Marionberry pie before?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so you are in for a treat right now then. So what we do, we take this big double-handed cheese cutting knife here, and then all I'm gonna do is just push on down. There we go. And now we get to see those glorious inclusions here. Every time the sensory team is cutting one of these open, they're making sure that the inclusions are spread evenly.
All right, let's dig in then. I don't know if I've ever had Marionberry. Where did they grow predominantly here in Oregon?
It's actually Oregon State University crossbred blackberries and raspberries, and that is the Marionberry we have today.
All right, let's go. Thanks, bye.
There we go. Yeah,
Next, we're driving through the Tillamook State Forest on our way to the Willamette Valley.
Welcome to Cho Wines.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having
glad
us.
you're here.
Yeah, this view is absolutely stunning. My goodness.
It's pretty amazing. We're lucky here in the Willamette Valley, for sure. So the first pioneers that came to the Willamette Valley, they were hippies from California that had this dream to grow
wine grapes here in the region. When they first came, they were considered crazy, they were considered pioneers, and now like we have 700 Willamette Valley wineries now. And so really they were seeing a vision for the future, and I feel like that's what we're doing at Cho Wines too. We're the first Korean American winemakers in the region, and for us, it's like, you know, we're starting from the ground up. So what you're seeing here is really the first vines that we planted in 2022.
So this is our founder's block, planted back in October of 22. So growing season-wise, this is year 3.
Okay.
So as you can see, they're still pretty tiny.
There's a rootstock that you plant, so this little guy here,
Yep.
and then there's a cane that comes up. And so each year they call it 2 budding, which means that you bring it down to 2 buds.
Yep.
And so we clip it and then we let it grow from those 2 buds. And then that's when we start producing. It's actually when we walk over this way, there's a Chardonnay block. We're actually producing from that site.
Honestly, I was kind of nervous going to a winery because I don't really know much about wine. But they made it so approachable, and it was like talking to my best friends that I've known for 20 years.
So today we have 6 wines in front of you. With these styles, you'll see different grapes that are being used. So even though we're really known for Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Pinot Gris in the region, we also don't have the same restrictions that a lot of like areas like Burgundy, Tuscany have. And because of that, we get to experiment a lot. So whether that be winemaking or grapes that we use. So here we have Sauvignon Blanc, we have Pinot Noir, we have Syrah, and then we have some fun sparkling styles too that you get to try.
I was an exchange student in Costa Rica, and so the volcanic soil coffee is what this reminds me of.
Ooh, okay, all right, yeah.
And maybe a really dark cherry.
I love your tasting notes. I feel like you should have like your own little tasting note.
Wine pairing with your salad.
Yes! Oh my God. That would be amazing.
Thank you so much for hosting me. This was such an amazing new experience for me.
I'm so glad you got to experience it. I think that's something that's like really important to me and Dave, is to make it really approachable. And you'll see just in our space that you'll see little kids here, and you'll see families, you'll see pets. And I think a lot of what we find in the wine industry is sometimes people see it as something that's pretentious, but we made an experience that really we want to make sure people feel really welcomed.
That's amazing. I think that deserves a cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming out.
In the heart of Oregon wine country, Cho Wines brings a fresh voice to the valley, fusing Korean heritage with Pinot Noir perfection. Before we head to the airport on our last day, we stop at the kitchen at Middleground Farms, a recreational cooking school located on a family hobby farm.
Our goal is to bring just food enthusiasts, much like yourself, to the farm and help you learn and gain confidence cooking seasonally. So we take food right out of the garden and bring it into the kitchen with the intention of having you know what's in season and what to do with it.
I love that.
Yeah, so you're going to walk in what we call the kitchen garden, and I'll probably introduce you to Farmer John, who is in charge of not only our vegetable production, but the environment for those vegetables to grow.
We buy most of our seeds from different seed producers in the Willamette Valley. So these are specific varieties that are grown in this microclimate. So this is a really beautiful type of parsley.
Great.
Beautiful. She's a farmer now.
Oh, it smells so good.
This is kind of our big space where we do the volume of production. So things like garlic, peppers, beans, surrounded by the perennial ecosystem that is helping create that balance that we're looking for. And so we're taking annual vegetable farming to the next level of organic, where we're really thinking about a holistic approach to the property, so we don't have to use pesticides of any kind, organic or synthetic.
Some of the friends that we have on the kitchen are chickens. They're primarily for eggs, and we move them around to rotate them behind the animals so that they can help stir up, let's just say, the things that the animals leave behind. So they're a great part of the ecosystem as well as making delicious farm fresh eggs. And these are just some rescue horses. This is Baby. And they came to the farm because they needed a home. And so they serve no function other than just to look beautiful and to be sweet to pet.
Yes, you are very sweet. Hello. I'm not kissing you like the goats in Arizona.
All right, shall we head back to the kitchen?
I guess.
I know, the animals are so fun. We've got some cooking to do. So this is the actual kitchen at Middleground Farms. where we do our hands-on cooking classes, winemaker dinners, and all sorts of private events.
It's gorgeous.
Well, I knew you were coming from the Midwest, and here in Oregon, we've got a couple things that I wanted to teach you a little bit about that are very hyper-seasonal. And so we're gonna be transitioning right now in Oregon from our strawberry season, which is what we are known for is berries in the Willamette Valley, to blueberry season. So we're going to make a vinaigrette. I mean, it's okay, this type of salad, right?
I suppose.
Okay, I know. There's
all salads are valid. We'll do a vegetable salad this one.
So we're gonna have some fresh, beautiful blueberries. We're gonna use the parts of the strawberry where we made a vinaigrette. I'll teach you about that. And make a lovely fresh salad with our goat cheese from the farm.
Fabulous.
And then we'll finish off with using these fresh herbs to make a lovely and bright herb situation or sauce to go with some wild Columbia River salmon. We'll get to work in the kitchen.
And this is your fresh cheese from the farm.
is.
That is amazing.
Probably from that goat that wouldn't kiss you. A vinaigrette isn't a vinaigrette without salt. So we're just gonna dress this salad. Well, this might be my favorite part, the actual eating part of farming and cooking.
Yes. I love that we experienced the farm, we saw where the food was at, we picked it, we cooked it, and here we are. And all done in just a few minutes, it feels like.
Cooking here isn't just about recipes. It's about roots, relationships, and reverence for Oregon's lands.
We got to see amazing things in Portland, and within just a few hours, we were in gorgeous forests, down at the coast, exploring tide pools with a marine biologist, and at a winery back in the mountains, and now back to the city within just a few days.
Each stop gave us a new way to listen to the land, the people, the pace of life. From city bloom to coastal mist, Oregon speaks in contrasts. Each mile a reminder that it's a great big world out there. Let's get to going.